The Industrial Revolution didn't just build the modern world, it rewired how humanity lived, worked, and survived forever. Imagine a world lit only by fire, where travel was slow and most people lived and died in tiny farming villages. Everything changed in the 18th century, starting a transformation that would reshape human existence more than any event since agriculture began. Why did this revolution begin on a small island nation? Britain possessed a unique combination of 5 crucial pillars for success. First, an agricultural revolution had already occurred, producing enough food to support a growing population with fewer farmers working the fields. Second, Britain enjoyed exceptional political stability, creating a safe environment for investors to risk their capital on new and unproven ventures. Third, geography played a vital role, as the island nation had excellent ports and rivers to transport goods cheaply and efficiently. Fourth, a culture of scientific inquiry thrived here, where engineers and thinkers were encouraged to solve practical problems through mechanical innovation. Finally, the economy featured high wages and cheap energy, giving businesses a strong incentive to invent machines that replaced expensive human labor. Before the factories rose, textile production was a cottage industry, with families spinning and weaving wool slowly in their own homes. The invention of the flying shuttle doubled the speed of weaving, creating a sudden shortage of thread that demanded a solution. The spinning jenny answered this call, allowing one worker to spin many spools at once, increasing productivity beyond what was thought possible. Then came the water frame, a machine too large for a cottage, which forced production into the very first industrial factories. These factories transformed textile manufacturing from a family activity into a massive industrial operation, producing cloth cheaper than ever before. However, these early factories faced a major problem. Because they were tethered to rivers and susceptible to droughts or freezing weather, the solution lay deep underground, where primitive steam engines were already being used to pump water out of flooded coal mines. A brilliant engineer named James Watt saw the inefficiency in these early engines and dedicated himself to creating a superior design. James Watt improved the design significantly, creating an engine that was efficient enough to power machinery far away from coal mines. This innovation liberated mankind from reliance on muscle and nature, allowing factories to be built anywhere, fueling an explosion of industry. Coal became the black gold of the era, feeding the insatiable hunger of steam engines that powered the entire industrial world. With cheap coal came the ability to produce iron on a massive scale, moving away from brittle wood to durable metal. Iron became the skeleton of the new age, used to build bridges, machines, and eventually the rails that would connect the world. The marriage of iron and steam gave birth to the locomotive, a beast that would conquer distances at speeds previously unimaginable. Railways spread like a web across the landscape, slashing travel times from days to hours and connecting remote markets instantly. For the first time in history, humans could travel faster than a galloping horse, changing their perception of time and space forever. This transportation network allowed raw materials to reach factories quickly and finished goods to be distributed to consumers at record speeds. But this progress came at a cost, as millions migrated from the countryside to cities, leading to chaotic and unplanned urbanization. Workers lived in crowded, unsanitary slums where disease spread rapidly, creating a stark contrast to the wealth generated by the factories. The environment suffered greatly as factories dumped waste directly into rivers, and the air turned thick with toxic coal smoke. Perhaps the most tragic aspect was the exploitation of children, who were forced to work long hours in dangerous conditions for pennies. Their small size made them useful for crawling under machinery, but many suffered terrible injuries or lost their lives in the gears. The harsh conditions eventually led to social unrest, as workers began to organize and demand better treatment, wages, and safety. Deep underground, the situation was no better, with miners facing constant dangers from cave-ins, explosions, and long-term lung disease. A new class divide emerged between the wealthy industrial capitalists who owned the means of production and the struggling working class. Despite the hardships, the power of industry could not be contained, and the revolution soon spread across the English Channel. Belgium, France, and Germany adopted British technology, building their own heavy industries and challenging Britain's dominance in the global market. The revolution crossed the Atlantic to the United States, where vast natural resources allowed industry to grow at an explosive rate. In America, the factory system combined with innovation to create a manufacturing giant that would eventually rival the European powers. Even isolated Japan opened its doors, rapidly transforming from a feudal society to an industrial powerhouse in just a few decades. Global trade flourished as mass-produced goods became affordable, raising the standard of living for many despite the difficult working conditions. As the 19th century ended, steam gave way to electricity and oil, paving the way for the Second Industrial Revolution. The foundations laid by coal and steam built the modern world we know today. From our transport systems to our technology, we look back at this era with mixed feelings, acknowledging both the incredible human progress and the terrible suffering it caused. Today, we face a new challenge: finding ways to maintain our industrial lifestyle while healing the environmental damage of the past. From the spinning jenny to the steam locomotive, the Industrial Revolution was a turning point that proved human ingenuity has no limits. It taught us that change is inevitable and that adaptation is the key to survival in a constantly evolving world. The legacy of those smoky factories and loud machines lives on in the very fabric of our cities and our daily lives. Despite the struggle, humanity eventually gained longer lifespans, higher incomes, and a world of opportunities that our ancestors could never imagine. We have witnessed the full life cycle of industrialization, a miraculous process of science and labor that feeds and powers the world. The Industrial Revolution was not just a British event. It was the moment humanity decided to take control of its destiny. Now, as we stand on the brink of the AI revolution, we can learn valuable lessons from the upheavals of the past. History is a continuous chain of events, and understanding where we came from is the only way to navigate where we are going. Not every invention was a success, but every failure paved the way for the perfected technologies we take for granted today. As the steam clears and the gears come to a rest, we hope this story has given you a new perspective. From the humble fields of England to the high-tech factories of today, the spirit of innovation remains the defining trait of humanity. We have closed the chapter on the first industrial revolution, but the story of human progress is still being written every day. Look around you. Everything you see, touch, and use is a silent testament to the brave pioneers of the industrial age. The world is now smaller and more connected than ever, a direct result of the iron rails and steamships of yesterday. Time itself was commodified by the factory whistle, changing our natural rhythms to fit the precise demands of the industrial clock. The gears of the past have morphed into the circuits of today, but the drive to improve and expand remains unchanged. Let history be our lighthouse, guiding us away from the mistakes of the past as we navigate the storms of the future. We must cherish the social progress we have made, ensuring that the fruits of industry serve all of humanity, not just a few. The sun sets on the age of steam, but its long shadow stretches across centuries, touching every aspect of our modern existence. As we conclude this deep dive, remember that every object in your home has a story that began in a coal mine. Knowledge is the only resource that grows when shared. So share this video to spread the understanding of our shared history. If you enjoyed this journey through the Industrial Revolution, please hit the like button and support our channel for more content. Don't forget to check out our other videos, where we uncover the crazy facts hidden in the vaults of human history. Your support helps us keep the vault doors open and the stories flowing. We appreciate every comment and every new subscriber. Thank you for watching this journey through history. Subscribe to Crazy Fact Vault for more amazing stories from our industrial past.